Okay, so it looks like you're doing everything right. Okay, cool. So yeah, our first step, and so whenever we deal with solving for reactant using a chemical equation, okay, first step is to write our chemical equation and balance it. Okay. Make sure all the charges are good, make sure everything's balanced, because we're gonna need to use it. All right. And so it says. So octane reacts with oxygen gas to produce carbon dioxide and water. Okay. So excellent. So sounds good, but we gotta balance it really quick. So, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
I'm getting there.
It's all good. I know, it's crazy.
Okay.
It's
I was
huge.
there with 25.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, cool. So I know, crazy chemical equations, right? Yeah. Hopefully, I didn't double check, I just did it in my head really quick. Hopefully that's right. So, okay, so we start out with this as, okay, so after we do that, check, awesome. Okay, so what mass of water is produced by the reaction of 8 grams of oxygen gas? Okay, so, we want to know what mass of water? Okay, wait, mass of water produced by the reaction. In grams. Okay, cool.
I'm not exactly sure what the question is asking.
Okay, so basically, to break it down like this, it says, and so this is what it asks, it says, what mass of water is produced by the reaction of 8 grams of oxygen gas? Okay, so in regular people words, alright, it says this. It says, okay, so if I gave you 8 grams of oxygen gas, how much water would I get out? How much grams of water would that make? Does that make sense?
Okay.
And so what we gotta do is we gotta find, so we're given 8 grams of water, or 8 grams of oxygen, all right? And so we gotta use our stoichiometry skills, and we have to find out how many grams of water that can make, okay?
Okay.
So we start off, all right, molar map. Do you like the molar map?
I like the one you drew.
Ooh, all right. Let's use that. All right. So we can kind of plan it out before we even start. Anything.
Yeah. Essentially, it was this.
Okay. So perfect. Cool. And so we're given grams of one thing. We need to go to moles, and then use our mole to mole ratio, and then go to grams again. Cool? Okay, so, and so we have 8.0 grams of O2, all right? And, I mean, some people like to just, do the whole, train tracks thing, and then write it all out, write out all the units before they even put in the numbers. Some people like that better, whatever. And so, okay, so what we need to do is we need to go from grams to moles, moles to moles, and then moles to grams. Okay, and we got that from our molar map. All right. So, we need to take grams of oxygen, and we need to go to moles of oxygen. Okay, so how do we go from grams to moles? Do you remember?
Divide it by the molar mass.
Perfect. Excellent. So, what's the molar mass of oxygen?
Do I have to multiply by 2?
Yes. Good catch. All right. And fast forward. I'm just going to do it really quick. It's 31.9988. You just get to know it. Okay. And so, grams of O2 equals 1 mole of O2. Perfect. So now here's where our chemical equation comes in, okay? Because we can use these big numbers out in front, right, as molar ratios. Cool. And so we're in moles of O2, all right, and eventually want to go to grams of water, right? Yeah. Okay. So and so we can write this. Okay, moles of O2 and then moles of H2O. Okay. So how many moles of O2 do we have in our equation? Do you is that a good question? Is that clear? Okay. Okay, basically what I'm saying is, okay, so what's our ratio in our equation from oxygen to water? Does that make it, yeah, still not making sense? No?
I know you're asking, I'm just trying to figure out how to find.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we use our equation, okay?
So is it 18 to 25?
Excellent. Yes,
Okay.
perfect. All right, 18 to 25. Okay, and we couldn't get those numbers unless we wrote that equation and balanced it. Okay, and so so basically what this equation is saying is for every 25 moles of oxygen, we have 18 moles of water. Okay, and so now we're in moles of water, okay, but we don't want to be in moles, it wants grams. Okay, so how do we get from moles to grams?
Multiply it by molar mass.
Excellent. And I'm going to say it's 18.015 grams of H2O. Okay, and so now we check to see if all of our units cancel. Okay, so grams of O2 cancels grams of O2, moles of O2, moles of O2, moles of H2O, moles of H2O, and then we're left in grams of H2O, which is our answer, which we want. Okay, it wants it in grams of H2O. Perfect. Okay, so now we just gotta bust out the calculations.
Okay. So, okay. So for the middle one, would I multiply by 18 and then divide it by 25?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I get 3.2.
Cool. That's what I got too. So it wants it in 2 sig figs, right?
Yep.
Oh, we did it. Okay. So yeah, we got 3.2. All right. 3.24 something grams of H2O. Okay. And so to kind of check your answer, I mean, you don't have to, you know, but like, if we look into our equation, we have really big going to like smaller, all right? And so if we have this many grams, you know, of oxygen, usually isn't gonna go bigger. It's gonna usually follow the equation. So we have 8 grams of O2 and then it'll go to 3.24 grams of H2O. Does that make sense? So it kind of goes down, and same thing with the equation. So if that helps, cool. If not, you can just forget everything I just said.